Good evening and welcome to the FITT Show, financial information for today and tomorrow. I'm Bobby P. Kinzer,
And I'm Thomas Doty.
and we are the FITT Show, helping our people get their finances in shape. So this is our 166th show. Say that real fast a couple of times. And man, we're rolling right along, ladies and gentlemen. And because of you, we are who we are. Because if it wasn't no you, it would be no reason for us to be here. So we thank you for y'all attending our shows. We try to provide as much information as we can to help people, just learn more about building wealth. And that is the whole crux of the show. So, got a little disclaimer here. We're not registered financial advisors. We are um, financial education instructors. We're not selling anything. We don't sell any products. We just want you to enrich you with your knowledge, and hopefully you will pass it on to your family and friends, and they will be enriched too. So, just a couple of other administrative things. We'd like for you to click on that heart button and click on the like button because that's how we reach more people. That's how it's based on the algorithms of Facebook. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, all you have to do is just share with your friends and family, and we really would appreciate that. Now, there's a comment box there, and this show, we are virtual, but Dote is in Charlotte, and I am in Bowie, Maryland. But we can make this interactive by you exercising and using that comment box. Because if you have any thoughts or opinions or questions on anything we're talking about, that is the place that we can interact with you. So please use that. And plus, when you put things in the comment box, that exponentially has greater algorithms, and we can reach more people because that's how it works. And that's the only thing we ask you all. We want to reach as many people as we can. Like I said, we're not selling anything, but we want to we ask you. The only thing we have asked of you all is that you tell more people and share this show with everybody. God bless you, my son.
Thank you.
So last week we talked about planning and spending. Basically, we had some requests about budgeting, and we definitely covered that. But today we got an interesting topic. It's called Enjoy Yourself, but Watch the Fees. Really, really interesting, y'all. But we're going to get into that in a minute. Once again, please click on the like button and the heart button, and please put comments in the comment box. And welcome everybody around the country and all my friends in the UK. Thank you all for staying up late. We really appreciate it. Dote, how are you doing today?
Life is good, my brother.
That is great that you even know that it is, my brother. And it's all a state of mind. Attitude is everything. Appearance is just 80%. Don't let them fool you. And that is not the quote of the day. That's just an extra one I threw in there for you. So let's get to the top of the show what everybody's eager to hear. Do you have some good news about the stock market today, though, for once?
Well, good news if you bought some last week when it was down.
Oh, yeah.
Market's had a pretty good week. 3 really good days in a row. Things seem to have moderated. Looks like people are back into buying the tech stocks. You can see the S&P is up for the week, 1.7%. Nasdaq's up 2.6%. And my stocks had a pretty good week. Microsoft's up to 427. Tesla's flat. Tesla's been going up and down. One day they get good news, the next day they get bad. And again, that's more of a long play for me. I think that's going to be good 5 years from now. Apple's pretty flat. I think everybody was kind of underwhelmed with the iPhone 16. It's a big AI push, but I'm kind of a techie guy myself, and I don't see really anything to make me want to go buy buy the new one, but we'll see how that all shakes out. Pfizer's flat. Still expecting that to make a move soon, but hasn't done much. My Nvidia's bounced back. It's up to 119. It's up 12 points for the week. And Google, which is having all of those regulatory issues, and they're talking about having to break it up because of they monopolize the advertising side of it. It's actually down for the week. But all in all, a pretty good week. Things looks like the Fed's going to cut rates next week. All the economic data has been coming in as expected or a little better. And as we told you last week when everything was down, I thought there was some profit taking, but it looks like a lot of money is flowing back into the tech market. And so we'll see how things shake next week when we see what the Fed does. Everybody's expecting a 1/4 point rise. And I really don't have an inkling of what they're going to do, but that seems like the consensus what everyone's expecting. So
they said though it could even be a 1/2 of a point.
Yeah, it's only like a 30% chance of that happening, but I think if they did, they'll be admitting that they waited too late to raise interest rates. And so I don't think they want to self-admit. I think they'll go a 1/4 point and then maybe bump it up again a little bit later, but we'll see. But we wanted to show you another slide just to show you the year-to-date change for some of the things that we invest in. You can see for the year, and we're only actually 8 months through the year, or 2/3 through the year, but already the S&P's up 18%, NASDAQ's up 17%. Microsoft's up 51 points since the end of the year, up to 427. Tesla's actually down. It was kind of rolling kind of high with everything was going good at the end of the year, but they're kind of falling off. Apple's up 30 points or 16%. Pfizer's basically flat, down a point. Nvidia's up 138%. It's more than doubled this year. And Google's up 11%, even with all the issues they've been having lately. So if you've invested in the tech market, you've had a pretty good year so far. And again, that's why you see a lot of profit taking. People are getting out of some of these tech stocks that have done really, really well. And now they're expecting some of the broader market stocks to do well, some of the things that were weighed down by higher interest rates. So as interest rates start going down, that kind of opens up the number of stocks that are expected to do well. So there still may be some more profit taking out of the tech side, but again, I think I'm going to stay in them because I think they're all good companies. The only thing I might sell is Tesla, just because it's been going up. I'm still up overall, but it's too volatile. But again, I think eventually, it's once things level out, I think Tesla's going to be a strong player in the EV market.
Yeah, and last week, the other week, should I say, NVIDIA sold off $300 billion worth of stock shares. And
it was down to about 100.
And it still was valued at $2.7 trillion as a company.
Yeah, and it kind of took a bump this week. Their CEO got in a conference was talking about his enthusiasm, how hot their market is, how he gave some positive outlooks. And I think that's what kind of propped it back up. But everything is kind of positive right now. So most everything's going up.
And though they say that this interest rate cut are going to be favorable to the stock market.
Interest rate cuts are always favorable to the stock market. Anytime you can borrow, it lowers your borrowing costs, or lowers your debt costs, and gives you can borrow money to invest. I mean that's positive for everybody. Consumers will spend more.
They will spend more. That's the other thing,
and that'll crank the market. So interest rate going down helps everybody. You look how long we had that bull market with the crazy low interest rates. I don't know if they'll get that low again, but we shall see.
Let's talk about the cryptocurrency market, Dope. Cryptocurrency market, man, is back up 3%, about 67 billion. The Bitcoin was going down there for a minute. It had gotten all the way up to 70, dropped all the way back down to low 50s, but now it's back up $2,032 compared to last week, up 4%. Ethereum, the smart contract, they down. They lost $11 to $2,356. About a 0.5% though. And Tether, the stable coin, which is, backed by what they say the dollar, but part dollar and part other assets, but they say the dollar. That's why they call it the USDT Tether. But that's up 1%, up to $1. Solana is still holding it. They up 5%, believe it or not. And the Dutch coin, believe it or not, is up a penny. They've been struggling, and poor Elon Musk, he didn't have the golden touch on that one. But that's it for the cryptocurrency market. For all of you all who out there still holding strong, keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. So, with that, let's get into our topic of today. And that topic is enjoy yourself, but watch for those demonstrative fees.
Yeah, I mean, when you're out traveling, shopping, or dining out, usually you're a little more relaxed. That's usually your time to kind of kick back and just try to enjoy yourself. But, as Bob said, you got to watch you don't get ambushed by extra charges. Companies are always looking for ways to make extra money, and they found these fees to be very lucrative, whether it's airline seats or resort fees at hotels or charges on concert tickets. They are turning into billions of dollars in revenue for these companies. And the Bush administration has tried to target these so-called junk fees as part of their effort to fight inflation. But some of these initiatives are getting pushed back from the court, so we don't know how that's really going to shake out.
Yeah, so that's that's interesting because they're calling it fee-flation, and Americans are being slammed with hidden fees from almost every direction, man, forcing us to pay more for goods and services than we actually anticipated, that we actually budgeted for. Now, fees looking at cable and mobile phone bills. They're tacked onto air fees, hotel room rates, car rentals, and are quietly levied on even our daggone checking accounts, just to name a handful. But individually, such fees can be modest, might not seem worth getting upset about, but together, though, guess what, man? They add up to where we spend over $64 billion a year in junk fees. That's according to the White House analysis. And they saying that per household, that's about $500 more in fees that we pay. But check this out, though. Fortunately, change may be coming, spurred by the Biden administration, as well as the Consumer Report Advocates, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and other agencies have all proposed rules that, if enacted, would limit a range of junk fees, and we need it. Now around this time at press time, currently the CFPB was expected to finalize the rule to limit fees on late credit card payments to no more than $8, which is about 25% of the minimum balance due, which it currently is $30 to $41 for just being late. And that credit card companies, that's the currently charged, the $30.41. And the rule may take in effect sometime before the year is over. So that's good news. But let's talk about some of these fees and how people can avoid them, because this can save you a lot of money.
Yeah, and the first one is travel fees, and you look at airline seat selection fees, and this is one I always get hit with because I have long legs and I don't like being closed in, so I always have to pay for an aisle seat. And when I was working, I traveled enough so I could always, usually I get upgraded or, so I always had plenty of room. But now I'm with everybody else, and so I got to pay. And those fees can go anywhere from $20 to $100 just to get extra leg room or sit in the preferred locations. And all the airlines do something different. Southwest just announced they're going to go from their open seating policy, because I read that so many people were using wheelchairs just to get on early. It was one flight that had like 30 people with wheelchairs, and most of them looked healthy. And so they're going to do like everybody else, and so that'll be interesting too. You deal with those budget airlines, Spirit. What's the other one? Frontier. That's the one I was thinking about. I won't fly those because it's just hard to figure out what the heck you pay. And they, from what I've heard, their seats, they have less room on their seats than anybody. And so when you buy your ticket, you usually can pick your own seat, or you can choose to pick your own seat. Usually there's an extra charge for that. Or you can just leave it to random and they'll book you. Now, you get into issues if you're traveling with kids. A couple of airlines, American and JetBlue, they've kind of guaranteed that parents are going to be sitting with their kids. But there's some talk that the government may implement a rule that says people have to sit with their kids. But until that's implemented, if you're flying on some other airlines and you want to sit with your kid, you're going to have to either pay for that seat or get on and beg somebody to move. And that's always interesting because a lot of the times when you want to get a whole row, usually people have paid extra for that seat. So that's one that you can avoid, but you got to be willing to sit anywhere, usually in the back of the plane, next to the bathroom, or on a window way in the back. So that's a fee that you have to watch out for. It's avoidable, but depends on what your particular situation is.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to be flying back from Atlanta on Spirit, and they had an extra charge for the wide seat. Then they had another extra charge for the daggone emergency seat because it's also a wide seat and got the leg room. And I wasn't going to pay it, but I was like, man, forget that. But the other one, though, is the airline baggage fees, which is typically $25 to $35 for the first check bag, or $50 to $150 each for additional check bags. Now, one check bag particularly typically included for international flights, and so they don't charge. But if you don't want to be charged, fly Southwest Airlines, because they don't charge for check bag. But other airlines, you're generally going to be on the hook for a fee for the luggage while flying domestically, at least. And you can avoid baggage fees by packing everything you need in a carry-on, because that's what I do, though, when I'm on, short flights, and a personal item that fits underneath the seat in front of you. Now, I can't do that because my leg's too long, but a lot of those short leg people, you can put that stuff, put it in a bag that fits in the seat in front of you. And some airlines, include JetBlue and United, they do not include a carry-on bag with basic economy tickets. So some credit cards that are so branded with airlines, like the Delta Sky Miles and the Delta Sky Miles Gold, or the American Express, which I have, it's a $150 annual fee waived for the first year, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that. I have an American Express card. And United Explorer, which is $95 waived for a year. City, the Advantage, Platinum, Select World Elite card, they waive $90 for a year. So offer free check bag as perk. And if you have an elite status with the airline, you often can check your bags at no extra charge. And I'm telling you, it makes a difference. These little fees, not paying them, they add up.
Yeah, and the next one is the in-flight Wi-Fi fees. And those are pretty small. They usually range between $8 and $10. And it's actually gotten better on airlines. It's cheaper and faster. It used to be a little more expensive. JetBlue has always offered free Wi-Fi. Delta's planning to do it. They haven't done it yet, but you have to be a member of their Delta Sky Miles, which doesn't cost anything to join. But so if you're flying Delta or JetBlue, you should be able to get Wi-Fi for free. And if you are flying other than Delta or JetBlue, check and see if your credit card will reimburse you or discount the fees. United card, they give you $125 in statement credits each year for United purchases you make with the card, including in-flight Wi-Fi. So always check your credit card to see if they're going to help you out with some of the ancillary charges that airlines hit you with, including Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The next one though is hotel resort fees. Now that typical amount is between $20 to $50 per night. And about 60% of hotels and resorts, believe it or not, don't charge these resort fees. According to the American Lodging Association, these properties, which are typically located in the popular cities where tourists all go, such as Vegas, Miami, and Orlando, they tack on the charges to cover amenities such as Wi-Fi and access to the fitness center. Now, at the resortfeechecker.com, you can look up properties to see how much they charge. If you don't expect to use amenities, the fees covers, ask the hotel to remove it from the bill. Now, hotel, and you like a Hilton member, though. Hilton and Hyatt hotels waive the fee if you book a stay with the loyalty reward points or a free night award.
Right. Okay. The next fee we're going to talk about is the rental car insurance. And that one you really have to pay attention to. And that can go between $13 and $30, and I've seen as high as $40 per day. That's another you got to watch. So if you already have a car, you're covered. Your car insurance covers you no matter what car you're driving. And that's only in the US, okay? It's got to be a little different, whole different situation if you go overseas. But if your personal auto insurance lacks collision and comprehensive insurance, you may be underinsured if you rent a car. So if you're traveling both inside and outside the US, you might be covered if you pay for the reservation with a credit card that offers rental car insurance. And be clear on that. A lot of times it'll cover the damage of the car, but it won't cover your
comprehensive.
No, the deductible. Okay,
right.
It won't cover the deductible, and so again, you got to pay attention if you're traveling outside of the country. Now, I have an American Express card, and they have a auto insurance that you pay for. And it's only like $24.95, and it covers the entire rental period. So if you rent a car for a week, you pay $24.95. If you rent a car for a day, you pay $24.95. But it covers everything. Basically, if you have a wreck, they cover your deductible. They cover the total cost of the insurance. So to me, that's a pretty good deal. For $25, I can pretty much drive worry free. And one thing you got to be aware of when you pick up a car, make sure you inspect it for damage. And as a precaution, you might even want to take a picture of the car just to have proof that the car was not damaged when you return it. Because a buddy of mine, he had that situation. Fortunately, his wife convinced him to take a picture. And when he returned the car, he got a notice from the car rental company saying he had damaged it. And she wrote a very eloquent letter. And she started off with, "Nice try." But she said, attached are the pictures that are date stamped. When we picked the car up, the damage was already there. And please let me know if you have anything else you got to say about this. So just as a precaution, if they don't have someone to inspect it and you can note the damages, make sure you take a picture and save those and have them date stamped from all around the car to make sure you don't end up paying. And the other thing you got to watch is the gas. I'm real cheap, so I always tell them I'll bring it back full. It does create a little hassle of having to find a gas station before you return the car. And if you are running late, that may create some problems for you. But I'm cheap enough. I refuse to give them any money because a lot of times they'll automatically charge you for the entire thing, and then you can bring it back with however much gas is in there. But that one, you know you're going to lose because you cannot bring it back on E, and you paid for the whole tank of gas. So just as a matter of principle, I refuse to do that one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm the same way, dope. And I just want to remind everybody, the reason why we're talking about these fees, $5, $15, $25, $50, they don't sound like much, but they'll start adding up, and it can whittle on the money that you could be using for other things, especially when we're talking about, investing or, padding, putting more money into your 401k. So, this is very important stuff.
And Bob, just to piggyback on that, it's like we talk about every transaction. You want to win. You want to pay as little as possible, and you want to get as much as possible. So that's why we're discussing these. And it seems like a little, but if you take these fees and extrapolate them over 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're talking a little bit of money. And again, as Bob said, it's money that you could have invested in the market, making more money for you, or simply doing something you enjoy as opposed to giving it to companies in the way of crazy fees. Right.
Now, though, I want to talk about the rental car thing because the additional driver, the typical amount is $5 or $15 per day for additional person. Now, many rental car companies charge a fee to allow someone other than the person listed on the contract to drive the car. But some, like Dollar, Hertz, Thrifty, don't charge a fee to spouses or domestic partners who are members of their loyalty reward programs. But Avis and Budget, they waive the fee for Costco wholesale members.
Yep.
Like you and me, though.
I use it on. I only use Budget.
You don't?
I only use Budget. Yes.
Oh, right. Because of the Costco membership.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they usually have the cheapest auto rental rates. They're cheapest I found.
That's good to know, dope.
And I you know me, Bob. I comparison shop, and they are usually the cheapest.
And there ain't no problem with you being cheap. I mean, excuse me, frugal. So you got Alamo and Enterprise. They don't charge a fee in the United States, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Ireland, or Spain.
Okay, next we got foreign transaction fees. And those can be tricky too. That's when you use your credit card in a foreign country, whether it's Canada, Europe, Asia, or wherever you are. And that can be between 1% and 3%. And that's if you use your credit card. And the first thing I'll tell you is a lot of credit cards don't charge that fee. So it's a matter of you knowing which one to use and making sure that you have that attribute of no foreign transaction fees. But the other thing, when it comes to foreign currency, you see people make a mistake. They go to those, you get off the plane and there's those currency exchange places. They offer the worst rates for exchange that you can get. And they basically take advantage of naive travelers who walk up there and they give you a rate that's basically is stealing money from you. So I've always recommended if you need money, get it from the ATM machine at the airport. So you don't want to be walking around in these sketchy places, taking money out, but get local currency, or if you're going to Europe, obviously it's euros, to get it out of the ATM machine. They're going to offer a much better rate than those currency exchange places. And if you're in a foreign country, it's always best to have their currency. It just makes getting around easier. So if they ask you whether if you in a foreign country and they ask you gives you a choice of paying in local currency or US dollars, always choose local currency. Otherwise, you'll be charged a currency conversion fee, which you don't want to deal with. So when you get to your foreign country, go to the ATM, figure out how much cash you're going to need, take it out, and live like the locals do.
Hey, Doug, this is an interesting tip. So, are you saying like to use the local currency, and it's better than using American cash? I mean, the American.
Most definitely, because if you use American cash, a lot of times they'll hit you with a currency conversion fee, and again, that's just another way for them to make money. Okay, right. So it's much easier to pay with local currency when you look at a price, you know how much it costs, you take out your euro or your pounds or whatever it is, and pay in local currency. That's the best, cheapest way to do it.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I was wondering about this though, right quick, just thinking about this. So if you use your credit card, right,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to automatically convert it to US dollars.
Correct.
Right. So you're just talking about hard cash if you had.
Yeah. Credit card's okay.
In cash, right?
Yeah, credit card's okay, but not with cash. Not with American cash, yes.
Yeah, because a lot of credit cards, like my credit card, didn't charge a conversion fee.
Yeah, but some do, some don't. So you got to be aware of the value that your credit card has, or the attributes that it has, and make sure you're using one that doesn't charge those fees.
Yeah, and that's what was good because my credit card it didn't, which I'm like cool, like Truist they didn't. I'm like that was cool. Another one though, let's get into the dining and entertainment area, like food delivery fees. I know a lot of people do this though, delivery fees. And they can range from $2 to $8, and you may pay a service charge of 15 to 30%. Now, you'll pay extra for the convenience of having services such as DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. They deliver restaurant meals to your doorstep. Now, you may be able to dodge delivery fees by searching for deals in the offers section of the delivery services app. So that's why if you look at the app, they got different offers if you look into there. It can save. Now, the restaurant chains such as Cheesecake Factory, Jimmy John's, for example, they offer free delivery when you place your first order with DoorDash. Now, in order to take out frequently, if you order takeout frequently, consider using a subscription plan such as Dash Pass or Grub Plus, and then you even have Uber One. Now, they're all $9.99 a month, but they waive the delivery fee on eligible orders. Now, check whether any of these credit cards or other memberships come with free discounted subscriptions, because Amazon Prime members, for example, can use Grubhub Plus for free. And some Chase credit cards provide a free Dash Pass subscription. Now, order directly from restaurants, apps, and websites may help you skip extra fees, meaning just go in and order. It can save you. But I know a lot of people want to, they want to just don't want to go out and do it. But Applebee's deliver food free if you order totals at least $40 or more, for example. And believe it or not, McDonald's provide free delivery for new users of the McDonald's app.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, really, actually.
It's funny. It's kind of off the subject, but McDonald's French fries are real good, right?
Right.
I was reading that they use a particular potato that requires a pesticide that's so intense that the farmers who use that pesticide will not go near the potatoes for like 5 days after that pesticide's been applied. And that just kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies about what kind of stuff is in those pesticides. So not sure what that means, but I'm avoiding McDonald's French fries now. The next one we're going to talk about is peer-to-peer transfers. That's when you send money to other people. And if you do it with a credit card, they can hit you with 3%. But if you do an instant transfer through an app, it can be from 0.5% to 1.75% if you want to get access to the money quickly. And so that's Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, all those make it easy to transfer money. But if you want to get it instantly, they charge you for it. And if you use a credit card, then you're going to also pay a big fee for that too. So be careful, know what you're charging. And if you can, don't use that instant transfer fee. You might have to wait 1 to 3 days to get access to the money, but you won't have to pay to get access to your own money. Well, Zelle offers a deal where they'll let customers of participating banks send money instantly to each other's checking accounts. And that's even different institutions. And that you can do that for free. So if you have to do it, at least look into Zelle and try to get it where you aren't paying money to send money or to get access to your own money.
Now, this one usually pisses me off, though. The ticket convenient fees for tickets, like shows and things like that. They average at 27% of the ticket price, according to the GAO. Now, online sellers of tickets for concerts, movies, and other events often charge services or what they call convenience fees, as well as facility charge to cover the venue's costs. That's ridiculous. If you resell a ticket on Ticketmaster's platform, you pay a resale fee too. So this is the key how to beat these ticket places. Try buying the tickets at the box office of the venues instead. And I'm talking about you can save anywhere up to 30% of fees. It may be less convenient, but purchasing tickets online, it's likely you pay less in fees.
Hey, Bob, the only problem with that is those like Ticketmaster and those guys, they end up buying up the tickets. And so the box office is going to have a limited number of seats.
Right.
So, and that's why the Biden administration was going after Ticketmaster, because they're pretty much monopolizing and forcing people to pay these fees when they add no value. They're adding no value at all. All they're doing is making money by doing nothing,
Right.
which is it makes me angry too, Bobby.
It should.
Yeah. The next one we've already touched on. There's a credit card late fees, and again that can be high. That can be crazy high. And not only if you're late do you have to pay a late fee, but usually the interest is going to start pounding up. So that's one. Again, we always talk about automating your payments. If you can do it, pay the full balance off before your due date, so you won't have to pay a late fee or 2 interest. Okay, and so if you usually pay on time and for some reason you miss, I actually had that happen once. I think I either changed my payment account or something happened where I ended up having to being late, but I called. I say, go look at my record. I'm never late. I had this situation, and they took it off. They took off the late fee, took off the interest. So it always helps to at least ask to get it removed. And all you wasted is a couple of minutes if it doesn't work, but it's definitely worth a try to get it removed if you do get charged a fee.
No. According to the Lending Tree, they say 89% of cardholders who asked their card company to waive the late fee has been successful.
Wow.
That's so ask you all, and you done started something. Motor Steen said McDonald's don't have the best fries.
Who does?
Yeah, put it in the box, y'all.
Who does?
Let's start. Put it in the box. Who has the best fries? Yeah, I tell you who I like fries. I like the daggone fries from what's the joint with the crinkle fries? Arby's with the crinkle fries. But I haven't been eating fries though. Don't say no. I've been cutting back.
Even the chicken fries from Burger King.
I've stopped that ever since you first talked about me. I haven't eaten one of those since you talked about me. You said chicken fries, you get the double. But anyway, I digress. Dope. Now this is something Dope does. he pays annual fees for certain cards, and the
Yep.
typical amount is like $105. But some credit cards charge an annual fee in exchange for rewards that are more plentiful than those you get with a no fee card, such as travel perks or extra cash back points or miles on certain purchases. Now, consider whether the value of your card's rewards outweigh the annual fee. That's the key. Now, if they don't, switch to a card that charges no annual fee. Now, another good idea is try asking the issuer to remove the fee for 1 year. And you can do that. You know, if you're a long-term card holder and you pay your bills on time, you may have better odds of getting the fee waived for one of those type of annual fees. But, you know, though he does that because he gets way more perks for the annual fee that he pays.
Yeah, I pay one. The one I pay for Amex is $450, and what I get for that is a free night. And you know, my kids live in New York. One lives in DC, and a hotel in either of those places is $300-400 a night. So that puts $300 in my pocket. I also get $200 back on airline fees, either purchases of tickets or seat charges. So that's another couple $100. I get diamond status at all Hilton hotels, and a lot of the places that includes the free breakfast, upgraded rooms, and a couple other perks. And there's a couple other things I get. So I think I get more than my value. I pay $100 for the card with American Airlines, and that's for free baggage fees. You get in a little bit earlier, and there's a couple other perks with that. But I think that's well worth it too, because I usually check my bags. I just don't like carrying bags to the airport. But those are the only two I pay fees for, and I do think I get my value. So just make sure you're getting value, and that you take advantage and actually use the benefits that you have. That's what happens to a lot of folks. I think they get those benefits just like on your credit card we was talking about. You don't look and see what your benefits are and then take advantage of it, because it takes an effort to do that. The next one is cash advance fees, and that can be 3 to 5% of the transaction amount. And if you do a cash advance where they offer you free interest for so long, you got to make sure you pay it when it's due, or they go back and charge you from the beginning. And when you use those fees, the interest starts from when you actually take that cash advance. So be aware of that also. And so got to watch using those checks that you get, those convenience checks, because they're typically handled as cash advance, which means you'll pay fees and higher interest rates on the money. So again, make sure you know what you're using, so you don't get hit with a fee that you don't expect.
Hey, Doe, you done started a French fry war, man.
What's another favorite French fry?
Okay, Garnett says McDonald's. Nolia says Five Guys.
I like Five Guys. Plus, they always give you way more than you need.
Yeah, they put that peanut oil in there.
Is that not good?
Not for my daughter. She's allergic to peanuts.
Modestine
said Hardee's. Nolia said Burger King, and Parkway Deli. That's a Silver Spring thing. Oh God! And Garnett says her air fryer. Go ahead, Garnett.
I've got the frozen French fries, but I've never cut up the potatoes and made them in the air fryer. I've just done the frozen ones in the air fryer. They do taste good. They are good, but
But that's what Garnett said. She do the air fryer. So thank y'all for the French fries. Now y'all making me hungry. So no surcharges for credit card purchases. You got to look out for this one, because that could be anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5 on the transactions, right? Now, in states where it's legal, some restaurants now, gas stations, and retailers impose a surcharge when customers pay with a credit card. The surcharge covers the fees that the merchants pay to the card networks each time a customer uses the card. So pay with cash or debit card instead. Now check this out. legally, I didn't know this though, businesses can't charge you extra for using a debit card. And the other thing is, I want to tell people, you need to look at your bill because they don't tell you, but that surcharge, that 3%, 3.5, is added to your bill, and they don't tell you. And you can look and tell them, hey, I'll ever pay cash or I'm gonna pay my debit card. So watch out for that one, you all.
Yeah, and remember, we don't recommend using debit cards because
Right.
that's just like cash, and a lot of times they don't have the same rewards that you get with your credit card, and you have very little fraud protection with debit cards. And the good thing about credit cards is that if you have an issue with the product, you can always refuse to pay and file a claim with your credit card company. It's a little more difficult with a debit card. Next, we're going to talk about banking or overdraft fees, and those can run $35. And that's just, again, where you might lose track of how much money you're writing checks for. And hopefully you aren't writing a lot of checks because we've talked about how open to fraud checks are. But if your bank account overdraws, you can end up with a fee of like $35. So you got to be careful with that. Some checking accounts have overdraft protection. You might want to make sure you have that. Another way to do it is to try to link a checking and a savings account, in which case, if you overdraw your checking account, they automatically go to your savings account to cover any shortfall. And they may actually charge a transaction to transfer from savings to checking. But if they do, that fee is typically much smaller than the charge for an overdraft fee. They hit you hard with those overdraft fees. So number one, keep track of how much money is in your account. Make sure you don't overdraw. But if you do, make sure you got some kind of cushion behind you, either overdraft protection or you have it linked to your savings account to cover any shortfall.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Doug, another one is that ATM out-of-network fees where you're going to use a bank that's not, in your network for ATMs. Now, that cost typically amounts to $4.73 on average in combined charges from the bank and the ATM's owner. And, so when you use an out-of-network ATM, your bank may hit you with that fee, and the ATM operator will likely charge you too. So you can get beat by the charges, you can beat the charges by limiting withdrawals to ATMs within your network. I know everybody know that, but we need to do that because some people just be in a hurry. And like I said, those $2, $3, $4 add up. Now, your bank may operate its own machines that participate in broad networks like Allpoint and MoneyPass, or both. But though, one of the ways that you can sidestep the ATM fees, and I don't totally recommend this, but this is one option. You can go and make a debit card purchase at a merchant and ask for cash back. And normally it's free. You got to be watch out because some people charge up to $3. But most people, if you use your debit card in the store, and Walmart, you can ask for cash back. And that way, if you needed cash for something, you don't get hit with the ATM out-of-network fee. Now, a final option is using a checking account that reimburses you the fees for using your out-of-network. And there's a few banks that do that, so you just need to check and see if your bank does, because it can provide unlimited domestic ATM rebates with its cash back and rewards checking. So depending on the bank, your bank may actually reimburse you for out-of-network ATMs. That's why it's important to check those things out.
Okay, last but not least, we have monthly maintenance fees, specifically on checking accounts, interest-bearing checking accounts. And you got to make sure that the interest you're receiving is covering the fee that you're charging. For example, Robinhood offers a high interest checking account, but I think the fee is something like $750 a month. So again, you got to make sure that the interest that you're getting is more than covering that. And that you can't get that interest savings from someplace else without a fee. So the best thing to do is try to get a checking account that doesn't charge maintenance fees, but still pays a decent interest rate. And so if you do have an account that does charge fees, you may be able to get around those fees by having a certain minimum requirement, or maybe having a direct deposit go into the account, or some other ways to avoid it. Again, do your homework, sit down and figure out if you can bypass those fees. And you don't want to pay fees if you don't have to. And a lot of times it just takes doing some digging and finding a way around it, or asking the bank, how can you avoid paying those maintenance fees?
No, we have a late entry. Linda said, my sister said, Arby's curly fries.
Never had those. I never Arby's. I don't even know anybody who goes to Arby's. Who eats Arby's? That I went in there. Well, that roast beef looks, I don't know. That's some funny looking meat. But the roast beef sandwich, anyway.
Well, I like the crinkle fries. And,
but what do you order? Do you order a burger? I mean, a roast beef sandwich?
No, I ordered a fish sandwich.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Fish sandwich from Arby's. But anyway.
I thought they had the meat.
So, though we had a lot of people chiming in about the fries. But what I'm finding out, a bunch of y'all are eating a bunch of fries. Y'all need to back up off the fries. That's what comes out of there. Y'all need to back up off the fries. I didn't know all y'all was eating fries, but ain't nothing like them.
Hey, and sweet potato fries are, oh man, they're the bomb.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's another one. So that brings us to the end of the show, and we like to go with our summary and takeaways. Let's go to the video, well, non-video, but that was a lot though. Those were over 17 tips we gave individuals, by the way. So here we go. The first one is consider the total cost, because you all, for every dollar that's taken out of your pocket, it could be going towards something else. And these fees, like sometimes you still saw some of the fees, you're not getting anything for it. And there's nothing worse than, your money not working for you. You want your money to work for you. So please consider the total cost. I know sometimes we want convenience, and we get lazy and in a hurry. But I'm telling you, all, those fees add up, and in the total cost, and you need to make sure you consider both the total cost and the fees.
Yeah, we've always said building wealth takes work. Find ways to avoid the fees. Check your credit card. Even if you just call the customer service department, a lot of times you can look on the app, if you have the credit card app, and just go to benefits, and they'll lay out what options you have for whether it's avoiding fees or whether it's perks that you can get for, free baggage on the airlines or discounts on Wi-Fi or whatever. But look for ways to avoid fees. You don't want, because what happens is that money starts coming out every month and you tend to forget about it. And again, when you start taking that fee over months, years and years, it adds up to a lot of money. And building wealth isn't easy, and every penny counts. Make sure you look for ways to get around paying those fees.
Read the fine print. Read the fine print, because a lot of times it's not that obvious, and those fees are baked in there, and they're counting on you not reading it. And they always say, if you want to hide something from people, put it in the fine print. So read the fine print, you all, to everything. The truth and disclosure statements on credit cards. And most people don't, because they see all those words and they go by them. But I'm telling you all, that's how they penny pinch you and nickel and dime you to death, So please read the fine print.
as we said several times during the show today, fees add up. Fees add up. You need to minimize those. You want to win every financial transaction you have. You want to pay as little as you can, and you want to get as much as you can for what you do pay, whether it's a credit card, whether it's an account. Try to maximize your rewards, minimize your fees, minimize your payments. That's the way you build wealth. Penny by penny, little by little. Everybody wants the easy way out, but and I'm sure there are some easy ways. I just haven't found any. But I've been cheap all my life. And I should say frugal. I think in some cases I'm cheap, but in most cases I'm just frugal. And it served me well. It's nice. It's nice having money, and it's added up over these 70 years. Well, obviously not 70 years, but the 50 years I've been working as a professional. I can't tell you how much money I saved. It's a bunch, though. It is a bunch.
And Dode, if you don't mind me picking back in on what you're saying, if you don't mind, I've known you the majority of my life, and you've always been a penny pinching type. He's so hard to make Abraham Lincoln cringe. You make him sleep in the daggone house on the back. But it's a good thing. That's why you're where you are today, man. And I respect you for that. But thanks, everybody. Roll call for all you French fry eating mugs. Modestine down there in Lexington, South Carolina. Modestine talked about her being in Mexico. They tried to get her on the car, and they tried to get her on the exchange of her currency. I got some advice for you, Modestine. Stay out of Mexico. Rodney Madison Sr., thenotexperience.com. How are you, my brother? Go out there and check them out, y'all, as an alternative investment. Great opportunity. I think is really, really interesting, holding mortgage notes. And my wonderful sister, Linda, my wonderful sister, Nolia, my gorgeous sister and wonderful sister. Who'd I leave out? Gloria.
You left out the one's gonna punch you in the face the next time she sees you.
And I just caught myself. I said wonderful for two, and I said wonderful and gorgeous for one. Y'all know y'all, all three of y'all are gorgeous. I ain't lying. Now, Goldie, now I went you all to Kamala Harris rally, and it was in Charlotte, though.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Now let us know how it was. Was it good? And I hope you found that daggone license. Modestine, Garnett, what's up, Garnett? Glad to see you, dearest. Always glad to have you. And Deborah Doty, what's up, Deb?
DD.
Join us. Glad you join us. And who am I leaving off? I think I got everybody. Thank you all for tuning in as always. And hey, we're getting a lot of good. Thank you all for telling us this. Modestine said, man, y'all keep on doing yourself. Thank you. Though, I'd like to leave you with the quote of the day. There are two ways to be fooled. One, to believe what isn't true, and the other is to believe what is true. Have a good night. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you next week. Same channel, same place. Don't have a wonderful week, my good brother.
You too, my brother. Take care.
Love everybody. Thank you all for attending, and make sure you share this information with everybody. Have a good day.